Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Pikmin 4 Treasure Catalogue Epilogue. It's nice to see you again. Let's get right back into it with Schnauz. We are picking up from the Spring Crop series, starting with the Sunseed Berry. No matter how down you may be, these tasty bursts of joy are almost sure to turn your mood around. That's because they're happiness in fruit form. As the name implies, they plant seeds of sunny warmth in the middle of your heart, and there they grow.
The scent of this fruit tickles my heart for some reason. It makes me think back on summer memories, my wife smiling at me in the sunlight. She'd probably have a good laugh if she ever read this, but that wouldn't be so bad. I happen to love that sound.
Adorable.
Eat them as is or with a dollop of cream. The sweetest juice is concentrated at the top.
Interesting. Actually, good tip there. This ends with the cantaloupe. Okay. Cupid's Grenade. A fruit both powerful and delicate. It reminds me of something I once read. Fate's tapestry has unraveled. Tomorrow weeps. Romance has fallen. Love is madness. To mend the rift between two cross lovers, this is the ultimate weapon in Cupid's arsenal.
What a perplexing plant. It appears to be carrying two different types of fruit. Two different types of berries. They must be a rare species of fruit. Both have odd traits. One seems to be a suppressant while the other is a stimulant. It's not easy to tell which is which.
What is he talking about? Those are cherries, yes? So, like... I have no idea what he means.
The balance between sweet and sour is almost addictive. I always want just one more bite.
Okay. The Searing Acid Shock. I think those are peaches or nectarines. Probably peaches. Try eating this fruit when it's green and unripe, and you'll end up with a mouthful of acidic burning. But give it time to ripen, and it will not only taste sweet on the tongue, but restore your energy and give you the endurance to realize great ambitions.
In my youth, I used to power through long night shifts by sucking on sour fruit candy.
I too like peach candy. Gummy peaches.
It somehow energized me and kept me wide awake. I couldn't do that now, even with the candy, but it's an example of how sometimes things turning sour can work out for the best. My face scrunches up into a little prune every time I eat this fruit, just like Nana's does. Might be genetic.
Velvety Dream Drop. I am not sure what that is. I don't think those are pears. No, they're definitely not. Are they mangoes, maybe? The coloring on them isn't quite right for mangoes, but I mean, maybe? I'm not really into fruit. I like my veggies. This fruit is a treat for the senses. Not only is its bright tear-shaped form pretty to look at, its soft surface is also slightly velvety to the touch. Yes, two senses delighted by one fruit. Or as they say, two birds, one stone. Oh dear, speaking of stones, do not eat the seeds. They're quite poisonous. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe these are peaches? I don't know.
When my first child was born, my wife and I would sit outside in the warm spring weather and take turns rocking him in our arms. Those days were filled with endless joy. The sunlight bouncing off his downy hair looked just like this. Whenever I dig into one of these and it's full of big seeds, it feels like nature's pulling another classic bait and switch. Amen to that. Astringent Clump. Pretty sure these are lemons. They might be grapefruit, though.
It takes a refined palate to appreciate all this fruit has to offer. It is at once sweet, sour, bitter, and even spicy. But those capable of pushing through the complex, slightly painful taste experience will find themselves greatly rewarded. I feel like it's a grapefruit.
The night after I ate this fruit, I had a dream in which I saw lots of them growing, clustered together on a tree. If I were able to grow and harvest that many, we'd never run out of food. I suppose we won't know what's possible until I plant the first seed.
Perfect for the moments when all that will satisfy you is a mouthful of bitterness. And then cantaloupe. From its artistic-rated exterior to its delicately sweet interior, the wayward moon is elegance in fruit form. Mild and aromatic, it would make a wonderful gift for a friend or for someone who just needs a little pick-me-up. You give me a cantaloupe as a gift, I'm gonna be a little sad. Cantaloupe is bleh. Honeydew is alright. Watermelon is where it's at.
Picking the right get-well-soon gift is notoriously tricky. You're supposed to choose something you think the recipient would enjoy, and ignore your own preferences. And that's easier said than done. When I can't think of anything good, I usually default to some sort of food, like this fruit. I know I'm always hungry when I'm sick.
Scoop out the flesh and pour syrup into the shell to make a pool. Add fruit back into the syrup and marinate for at least an hour. Then dive into the sticky juices and devour. It's both a snack and a workout. I still struggle to come up with a good, consistent Louis voice. That isn't just Olimar 2.0. Oh, right. Interesting procedure there, by the way. Cool. That's a nice spread of stuff I wouldn't eat, but it looks pretty. I like it when they use these steps. Cool. The summer fruit series, ending with the raspberry. It's true! The rounded surface of this fruit is smooth as a baby's bottom. Meanwhile, the pale yellow flesh inside offers a refreshing flavor profile that is at once sweet and also sour. Really, as fruits go, it has much to offer. Pale yellow flesh. Maybe a plum? Yeah. I'm gonna guess a plum.
One whiff of this fruit will have your mouth watering, but the taste itself is sour and slightly disappointing. However, you can't let results like this keep you from trying new things, and there's no greater quality than an adventurous spirit.
Cut the fruit into smaller pieces and crush, squeezing out the juice. Add gelatin to the juice, pour into molds, and refrigerate for half a day. Remove jellies from mold and devour. Yeah, that's definitely not a Louis voice. Mock bottom. I think these are peaches. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure these are peaches, which would make these nectarines, I think. Still no idea what these are then. And then I'm pretty sure that's a grapefruit. What's most impressive about this fruit is the way it's sweet in both flavor and aroma. Meanwhile, its pretty pinkish orange coloring is lovely to behold. Of course, one can't ignore the shapely curves reminiscent of... good manners dictate I say no more. Nintendo made an ass joke. You'll love it. Suffice it to say, the mock bottom is quite a sensory experience.
Extremely sweet. Almost too sweet. The flavor makes you feel drowsy with joy, and you want to soak in those joyful juices forever and ever. I may need to limit my intake when it comes to this fruit. Millions of peaches, peaches for me.
To enjoy this fruit, all you need to do is take a big bite and let its sweet juices flood your taste buds. Dawn pustules. It's difficult to say which aspect of this fruit is more charming, its pretty emerald color or how easy it is to share with friends. Thankfully, you don't have to choose. Simply gaze upon this gorgeous green hue as you share its many orbs at a party.
This fruit comes in bunches, so you can keep eating them and never run out. A single berry satisfies my appetite, but I'm grateful to live in a universe with such natural abundance. Don't waste your time peeling these. The texture of the fruit is soft and plump, but the skin adds a nice crunch.
Dusk pustules.
Stare into the deep, dark orbs of this fruit, and you might fall into a hypnotic trance. But not to worry, the minute you take a bite, you'll be snapped from your reverie by a powerful blast of sweet juice. What a journey it takes you on! You may never want to return. I've noticed that the skin contains a substance with antioxidant properties. That's probably why I feel so fresh and invigorated after I eat one. I wonder how I'd feel after eating two. If eating these raw, you'll want to remove the skin to avoid a bitter aftertaste. To make a juice, leave skins on and mash the fruit with your feet. Great for working out pent-up aggression. Louis makes wine. Crimson Banquet. This thing is enormous. It's the size of an asteroid, with hard striped skin. It's not very inviting. So what a surprise it was to find that its insides are bursting with crimson juice. And seeds, too. Plant these in the garden, and maybe more tasty asteroids will grow. I look at this fruit, and am instantly overcome by the urge to split it into a million pieces. I closed my eyes to avoid the thought, but the impulse just got stronger. I must be holding on to a deep desire to take on and defeat a giant spherical obstacle.
Interesting.
Sprinkle with a hint of salt to enhance its sweetness. What? Salt on watermelon? What?
I'm kind of curious to try it now, though. I know my mom likes to put lime juice on watermelon. She says that really brings out the flavor. I'll have to try that at some point, too. And the juicy gaggle.
What a charming fruit this is! If it had a personality, I'd say it was cute and bubbly. Such a vibrant and passionate color, too. There's just so much to love here. But like love itself, the fruit is delicate, so treat it with care. Numerous pockets of juice clustered around a hollow interior, much like memories, both sweet and sour.
I love sweet and sour sauce, especially with chicken.
That burst with meaning, yet still cannot fill that empty place in one's heart. Gazing upon this fruit always fills me with regret. Pull out juice pockets one by one and sip their contents. Macerate the remaining fruit with sugar and enjoy on top of ice cream or yogurt. Yogurt.
Ooh, that's a nice spread, that is. Look at that. I might make that the thumbnail shot. Again, I wouldn't even eat most of this, but I won't lie that it looks good. Interesting that we got 2 dawn pustules, but only 1 dusk. No, 2 dusk pustules, so where's the second one? Oh, I see, one in the front and one in the back. I somehow saw the one in the back from this angle, but missed the one in the front. That's cool. I like the symmetry of that. The asymmetrical symmetry. Cool. Cool. Now the Autumn Harvest series. Again, mostly stuff I wouldn't eat, but there's a few good ones in here. Like the Zest Bomb. A number of fruits look quite similar to this one, but while it may be rather forgettable in appearance, its refreshing fragrance will live in your memory forever. Those with a mature palate should also sample its bitter taste. A zesty experience indeed. Seems to be a citrus lump, but younger and very green. Inexperience is usually perceived as a weakness, but its power should not be underestimated. Many an organization has been improved by a newcomer's creative and untamed energy. Squeeze the juice over fish or meat if you want to diffuse their odor. Have we gotten a... No, it's down there in Winter Reserve series. Delectable Bouquet. Maybe an onion? This might be an onion. Eat this fruit before it's ripe, and you'll never do it a second time. Aaaaaand blech. But you mustn't get angry. No, let this be a lesson in patience. For you see, those with the discipline to wait until the perfect time to eat this delectable bouquet, they will be greatly rewarded. While observing the plant bear fruit, I was unable to work out where and when the flowers bloomed. I was so frustrated that I couldn't figure out basic botany.
but all those annoying feelings faded away as soon as I bit into the fruit's sweet flesh. Okay, then it can't be an onion. Persimmon, maybe? Most of my experience with a lot of fruit has been working at grocery store as a cashier. I don't recognize. I want to say maybe a persimmon. Maybe not a papaya. No. Papaya is something different. Not just a snack, but a cleansing opportunity for your whole body. Try them dried out for a chewy treat. Okay. Portable sunset here, something I eat. I think it's a mandarin, but it might specifically be a satsuma. This fruit gets its color by soaking up the rays of each sunset, and though it's quite bitter during its youth, it grows increasingly sweet with age until it's close to perfect as it falls off the branch. Let this remind us all to look forward to our sunset years. This fruit reminds me of a particular sunset I witnessed years ago. My son and I were walking home together one evening, and the sun was setting right across our path. I remember it like it was yesterday. It wasn't spectacular in the least, but I'll never forget it. It takes forever to ripen and only a few seconds to eat. One of life's great tragedies. Indeed. This one's a pear, for sure. The flavor here is mellow and sweet, while the aroma is pure elegance. Not a fan. And speaking of aroma, please observe the shape. Does this fruit not resemble a nose? It's quite uncanny, I say. One wonders if it can smell its own deliciously aromatic self. There is an elegance about this fruit. Its graceful curves and subtle flavor bring to mind images of ornate ballrooms, overflowing with cultured guests and blossoming flowers. The simple act of eating it makes me feel a little fancier. Smells divine. Gently press the flesh near the stem to determine ripeness. If it's soft, then it's ready to eat. If it's still hard, then you'll have to exercise some patience. And an honest-to-God navel orange. Am fan. I'm basically a fan of anything orange. The amount of moisture contained inside this fruit is quite shocking. Underestimate it and you might bite down only to find yourself awash in a sea of juice. Be sure to have a snorkel at the ready when eating one of these. This fruit has a high water content, and its skin is so thin that you can bite right through it. It'd be the most perfect snack to keep in your pack on a long hike through the desert, if only it didn't bruise so easily. Wait. Is this an apple? Oh shoot, I think these are apples. Yeah, okay, these are apples. Honeycrisp, maybe? It's too yellow to be a proper gala, but it might be a gala. I'm not super fond of apples. I don't mind, Granny Smiths occasionally, preferably with peanut butter, but I can eat them without. Red Delicious is bland. Most apples I'm just not a big fan of eating, but if I really have to, I can eat most types of apple. Yeah, that's an apple. Okay, so we don't get another orange type except for the... Oh, no, you know, okay, we get a normal orange and a navel. So then I don't think that's a... If it is, then maybe a satsuma is, like, distinctly different. I consider this more of a drink. I consider this more of a drink than a fruit. And this is a kiwi, of course. It's a miracle anyone tried to eat this unpleasant-looking fruit the very first time. You'd think its hairy exterior would have scared them off. Yet eat it they did, and we should all be grateful for what a tasty treat it is. Further proof that luck favors the bold. Again, not a fan, but I did enjoy kiwis and smoothies because the seeds made for a nice crunch. The fruit on this planet is astonishingly large. If we could cultivate these ample fruits on Hokotate, nobody would ever go hungry again. Sadly, I don't know anything about agriculture. Maybe I should have listened to my wife when she told me to do yard work. That's different, but you should still probably listen to your wife. The black seeds are a delight and have a satisfyingly grainy mouthfeel, but I don't recommend eating the fuzzy exterior. And this... I don't actually know if it's not a kiwi. Is the blonde imposter simply a disguised delicacy in disguise, you might ask?
Not at all. It's very much its own fruit. It's juicy and sweet, and it has even more of the beautifying vitamin Pikmin U than its green cousin. Imposter? Psh, it's as real as it gets. I literally have no freaking idea what this even is. Yeah, no idea. Nope.
My wife went through a phase where all she talked about was Pikmin and its nutritious value. She charted Pikmin U percentages, and then there was A and P. I never really understood what she was talking about, but she was so passionate about it I couldn't help but listen. I bet she'd really like to try this fruit.
I like how they have Pikmin, despite the fact that technically nobody in the galaxy has discovered Pikmin yet. The closest thing is the Pick carrot. So maybe Pick carrots are super duper high in Pikmin, and Pikmin was named after them. Either way, that's just an amusing coincidence. It has fewer seeds and tastes a hint sweeter than its green counterpart. Yeah, I have zero clue what that is. Oh, that's cool. Not quite as pretty of a shot, but nice shot. Cool. Cool. Time for the Winter Reserve series. Starts with a juicer, which is funny. Squeeze. Had enough? No? Well, let's squeeze some more. A ruthless savage heart beats inside this machine. Indeed, no giant fruit can retain its juice in the face of this device's relentless ringing. But if it's the very last drop you seek, then the merciless extractor is for you.
When I look at the company president, I can't see myself climbing the corporate ladder. To be a manager, it seems like you've also got to be an inhuman, heartless villain. These traits allow them to squeeze their dedicated workers without mercy and still sleep at night. I feel that same merciless cruelty radiating from this metallic altar. I wonder if it was once used for dark, unspeakable ceremonies. Or perhaps it was once the desk of a corporate boss. We'll never know.
Based Olimar continues to be based as fuck.
Used for extracting fruit juices, but could serve as a cup if necessary.
Or a pool for you guys. Ends with the apple, okay. It's worth noting this tasty shape's near-perfect round shape, which is not unlike the face of a shrewd friend. Meanwhile, the thick skin suggests it's a survivor. It's seen things, it's been there. So let us take a look at it this way. As with that friend of ours, it might take us some effort to get all to the good stuff. But oh, what a reward once we do.
This fruit is so shiny and round, it reminds me of a beach ball whenever I see it. Yet it's so yummy that I can't help but get cravings for it, and end up eating it all the time. The only drawback is that I'm constantly disappointed that I'm not on vacation.
Don't throw away all that stringy white stuff. It's full of nutrients and adds excellent texture to a smoothie. Face wrinkler. The heart-squeezing excitement one feels upon falling in love for the first time is not so different from the jaw-clenching salvation that occurs when one takes the first taste of this fruit. I dare say both experiences are thrilling, if just a touch painful.
The love between my wife and I has been captured in all sorts of romantic memories, as sweet and sour as this fruit. It's fun to return to those memories and feel what I felt then. Sometimes I wonder how my kids will feel the first time they fall in love.
Too sour to eat on its own, but squeeze the juice over fried chicken to add a refreshing hint of flavor. Oh yeah, lemon's great on stuff. Children love this fruit for its adorable shape. See how it looks for all the world like a jolly orange snowman? But the pocked airhead is more than just a cute character. Its taste is sweet and its strange lumpy skin is easy to peel. There's much to love about the citrus snowman.
Some people may like to peel this fruit from the top, but I prefer to attack it from the bottom instead. Whenever I go from the top, I get this tingly feeling around my belly button. I find it very unnerving.
Save the peel and use it to add a citrusy aroma to your bath. Drop it in the warm water and relax. Louis once again proving to be based himself. Ooh. This fruit is a member of the planet family Bug-Eatonidea. As its name implies, the insect condo is a popular abode choice for a number of insects. And who can blame the bugs for taking up residence here? This fruit is not just homey, but also quite delicious. That, I believe, is a gala apple. It's not a red delicious, because it's not dark red. I think that's a gala. Yeah. Maybe a pink lady? I don't think it's a Honeycrisp. It's not any of the other obvious ones. There's also Cosmic Crisp. Don't know. Which again makes me wonder what the heck this is. Because it looks like an apple. It's got the core and everything. Maybe it is an apple and it's just a type that's typically more autumny? I have no idea. I'm not an apple person. Anyways.
This fruit could be hiding more than a tasty interior. On more than a few occasions, I've found bugs munching their way through the sweet flesh, presumably enjoying a snack of their own. How funny to think that I share the same taste in fruit as a worm.
Crispy yet juicy, light yet hearty. Always check for worms before taking a big bite. If you find one, it's a sign of good luck. Which gives us the Winter Reserve series. I mean, I like more of the things in this one. Most of it, even. All of it, technically. It's kind of a big sea of yellow and orange, though. Now we have the Tropical Pickings series. Starting with the Dapper Blob. This could honestly be Indian eggplants. But I doubt that's what they are. Because as far as I've been able to tell from work, I like having that pond back there. There are 3 types of eggplants. There's eggplants, which are like the classic big bulbous ones. There is the Chinese eggplants, which are the long and thin ones. And then there's the Indian eggplants, which are the little bulb ones. So if this is an eggplant, it's that. But I'm not sure. We'll have to see what description it gives it. It looks for all the world like this fruit is wearing a jaunty hat. Ah, but the Dapper Blob's attire is beside the point. It's the juicy flesh inside, deeply sweet yet delightfully bitter too. That's the real star of the show here, a fruit fit for royalty.
Don't ask me how I know, but if you draw a face on this fruit, it bears an uncanny resemblance to my wife wearing a hat. It even emits the same stylish and judgmental aura. Funny how the doodled version of her is as intimidating as the real thing.
Peeling this fruit is a sure way to dye your fingers purple, and it'll be a while before they go back to normal. Yeah, I don't think that's a plum or anything. No. I'm gonna go with an eggplant. Avocado, obviously. Big blech. It's a food, and it resembles some kind of scaly beast. Let's agree that the initial impression is not a good one, and yet, inside awaits a rich, creamy culinary delight. Oh, you scaly custard, you! Many have judged you harshly, and for that, I'm truly sorry.
The hard, scaly shell that covers this fruit gets softer and darker as it ripens, so determining the optimal time to peel and eat it can be difficult. It's as if the fruit is actively trying to sabotage your enjoyment of it. I've never known produce to be so sneaky.
Tastes rich and satisfying. So buttery you can almost confuse it with the real thing. Almost. And then this is a... I want to say this is a papaya. It's an interesting shape for it, but the coloration and the type that it is could be a mango. Well, it's not quite how I'm usually seeing. Oh, this could also be a Caribbean avocado. They look way different from a regular avocado. There's no other way to say it. The inside of the seed hive is quite grotesque. Okay, maybe a papaya or a mango then. That knot of black orbs in its belly. Yuck! But many seeds means many cultivation opportunities. And there's no reason to turn our noses up at that.
I always thought it was better to eat fruit when it's ripe, but this one is just as enjoyable and nutritious when it's green. The same can be said about creatures like us. Many think maturity is superior, but inexperience and youth are what provide fresh perspectives.
Packed with seeds. Don't stare at them for too long or you might start to feel a bit dizzy. Star fruit. Never had one, but it's a thing. Is this a fruit or a shooting star that's fallen to the ground? One taste and the answer is yours. Better yet, cut the star into slices and enjoy yourselves a fruity constellation. How heavenly.
To look at a cross-section of this fruit, you'd think it was a drawing of a star, like one my son would make. Stars don't actually look like that, so why do we draw them this way? Maybe the secret to the universe is hidden within those 5 points.
It sort of looks like a sea cucumber until you slice it open, and you're basically staring at a starfish. I think these are the mangoes. I'm mostly confident these are the mangoes. Yeah, the shape is appropriate. Coloration is decent. Okay, so these have to be papayas. I'm just used to them being a bit longer rather than rounder. When you lay eyes upon the elegant tear shape of this fruit, it may just bring a tear to your own eye. The perfection of it makes everything else in life seem somehow less perfect. Then, when you taste how perfectly sweet it is, prepare to weep with joy. So, I don't like peaches or mangoes, but I do really love peach or mango juice, and I love anything peach or mango flavored. Love it. A lot of fruit for me, it's a texture thing. I don't like the texture of how a lot of fruit works. And then a lot of them, to me, when they're in their raw, natural state, they're just too sweet. I really am not a fan of too sweet.
Peeling this fruit is arduous due to its soft skin. When I tried to eat it without first removing the peel, a rash developed around my mouth. I had better success when I slit grid-like cuts into the skin and flipped it inside out. The results were delicious.
Is that true? If you try and eat a mango without peeling it, you'll get a rash?
Its meat has a subtle sweetness and is almost creamy. If I close my eyes while eating it, I'm transported to a tropical locale.
Slapstick crescent. Right. So, I'm weird with my bananas. Anything banana flavored is absolutely disgusting and I will not touch it. I'm not a big fan of bananas in general. However, if they're mostly green, like not so green that they're hard and crunchy to bite into, I made that mistake once, but like mostly green with like just starting to get yellow, that's when I love my bananas. When they're the most starchy, and fun fact, as a diabetic, apparently that's when they're at their least carby, which is fantastic to know. The yellower they get, the less I like them. Once they start getting soft and mushy, or God forbid, start getting black spots, I'm out. Peace. I don't want to touch it. It's A, too sweet, B, too soft. And any of the black spots, I've heard people say they especially love those. What the hell? Those are disgusting. But a nice green starchy banana? Yeah, okay. I can down a few of those and enjoy my time.
Clearly this fruit was...
Wow. Clearly, this fruit was designed to be sent on outings with children. Note the built-in wrapper that's easy to remove. But children mustn't toss the wrapper on the ground. Someone is sure to slip on it and land on their behind. Hilarious? Maybe. Painful? Definitely.
I must confess, I once slipped and fell on a peel that I thoughtlessly discarded onto the floor after eating the fruit inside.
Who does that? Literally, who just randomly hucks shit to the ground? I get that it's for the joke of, like, you know, slipping on the banana peel, but who eats a banana and then tosses the peel to the ground? Like, in what circumstance is that ever your first instinct? Like, boggles my mind.
I'm really too old to be making mistakes like that. I can even hear my own voice scolding myself. Don't forget to clean up your trash.
Ah, the taste of healthy yet unremarkable choices. Indeed. And then dragon fruit. Another thing that I've never had before, but I should probably try at some point. Despite its wild and intimidating outer appearance, this fruit looks quite fancy and refined on the inside. Tiny black specks decorate bright white flesh. All in all, it looks like an egg from the nest of some fire-breathing half-animal, half-plant beast. Give us fire, Pikmin, you cowards.
Throughout my life, I've met people who seemed flashy or fancy, but were actually quite down to earth. I've also met people who were as arrogant as they looked. The same lesson should be applied to this fruit. It looks pretty intimidating, but what's on the inside?
Despite its intimidating exterior, the inside... Wow, it's like he finishes where Olimar left off. The inside is surprisingly sweet. If you eat the red ones, you'll be in for a more colorful surprise when you relieve yourself the next day. Oh. Okay. Cool. And the Tropical Picking series. Not bad. Alright, we'll keep going. We've got the bedtime series, starting with the dusty bed. If it's a good night's sleep you're seeking, this bed can help. Not only is it quite spacious and comfortable, but if you flip it over, it will coat you in a fine cloud of dust that is said to encourage sweet dreams. But bring a lint roller for when you're done sleeping. What even is this? Is this a sandal? Is it a pool floaty? It says wipe there. What does it say on this side? Oh, it's a chalkboard eraser. Oh, okay. I see.
I've heard this mattress possesses miraculous relaxation properties that promises the most restless sleeper a good night of sleep. I was curious to know how this would affect me, who can literally sleep anywhere. Would I ever wake up again? Thankfully, I did.
I jumped on it and was engulfed by a cloud of white smoke. This giant dog-shaped bed is the perfect spot for a canine companion to sleep on. It is quite thick and good at absorbing slobber if your favorite pooch friend is prone to such things. Also, a dog sleeping on a dog-shaped mattress? What could be cuter? Is this like a pool toy? I'm not actually sure what these are. Maybe they're erasers as well.
My beloved dog, Bulby, has the impressive ability to fall asleep anywhere he wants. We have that in common. And this habit is also one of my wife's biggest pet peeves. Perhaps if Bulby had a designated bed, it would create a bit more harmony at home.
How do you not have a dog bed for your dog? Like, AO? This smells like soap. Maybe I wouldn't need to shower anymore if I slept on it. Oh, maybe it's, a bath time sponge. Yeah, for kids. Yeah, I bet that's what it is. Or, you know, you could probably use them, like, for dishes, maybe. Maybe it's a dish sponge. Either way. Birdie bed. Birds have long been a symbol of freedom and good luck. In fact, if one appears in your dreams at night, then good fortune is sure to visit you during the day. With that in mind, sleep on this bed, and you're almost guaranteed to find birds flocking to your dreams.
Research has shown that sound waves created by a chirping bird are naturally comforting and induce sleep. Now, I don't have any strong preferences when it comes to bedding, but if this makes me feel like I'm sleeping on the forest floor, it could be worth a try.
Useless for sleeping. Its shape keeps making my mouth water, and I can never fall asleep hungry. Right, because it's a bird, and Louis wants to eat all birds. And then the fish one. It's said that life first came from the sea, so it's no surprise that we are so deeply connected to water. Thus this bed, with its fish-shaped design, is meant to lull one to sleep with visions of floating. Just lay down and let the dreams wash over you.
And this thing reminds me of this one time. I was fixing the hull of the SS Dolphin. The combination of the sun and zero gravity created an illusion. It was as if I was a fish floating in the open sea. But in fact, I was just me, floating in the sea of space debris.
I bit into this object while half asleep. It was completely devoid of flavor. And the bedtime series. Cool. An eraser and 3 sponges. Cool. This poor separated family. I know they're only dolls, but it's still sad. This grandchild was discovered inside a dark, damp cave. Did she wander off? How did she find herself in such an unsuitable place? She must have been so lonely. What a relief, then, that she was rescued from such an unfortunate fate.
I look forward to one day looking upon the face of my grandchild. If it's as cute as this one, I couldn't help but dote on them. But it doesn't really matter what they look like, or if they resemble me or someone else in my family. I've always thought that grandchildren are meant to be spoiled.
Cute hat, but makes it hard to see. Lol. Gifting vase. It's hard to see a family separated, even if they are just dolls. Dolls are not. They clearly want to be together. This doll torso looks like it is in the shape of a vase. Perhaps it's a good place to put gifts to help the wayward dolls get by until they're reunited. And they will be reunited.
I used to know a guy who would never give in to his kids when they begged him for something. Yet one look from his grandkids and he'd give them anything they wanted. It seems that a grandchild possesses immense powers of persuasion. Or it's just magic.
Flip it upside down, crawl underneath, and you've got an instant fort. Based. Daughter doll head. This doll inherited her wise look from her mother. She's lucky to be part of 3 generations that have handed down only the best traits. Of course, in reality, children often inherit our very worst traits. Whose fault is that? The answer, it's complicated.
Children often exhibit both the positive and negative qualities of their parents. I think that's why we feel for them so much. What's more, we want them to keep improving and even exceed the expectations we set for ourselves. It's hard work being a kid.
I'm finding the urge to add nose hairs or a mustache. Oh, angry eyebrows. Mooching vase. Children mooch off their parents all the time. Don't try to deny it. But to be fair, parents love to be needed. So perhaps they actually like it a bit when their child comes to them with a hand out. Anywho, this looks like a good place to store mooched items.
I've worked hard so I wouldn't be a financial burden on my parents, and I don't want my kids to be dependent on me when they grow up. A parent's job is to raise independent children, but not too independent. You still want them to come home for the holidays.
Amen. Probably used to take baths al fresco. The woody smell is quite soothing. Mama doll head. You want to see the face of a parent? Well, here it is. It's a commanding visage, no? And yet somehow it's still warm and inviting. This doll, in her infinite wisdom, knows she must strike the perfect balance between strict expectations and eternal love.
As a parent, you need to be able to hide some emotions from your children. It's harder than you think. I remember telling my parents about my career goals and seeing the disappointment in their eyes. It hurt, but I'm glad it didn't pull me off my path.
If I put this on my head, I look just like Nana. And the empty vase. Look at this enormous vase. Like a parent who's given too much to a child that's completely empty. Is this all that remains of a sad story? Maybe. Maybe not. Only that parent can say whether giving so much brought them disappointment or the greatest joy.
Once you have children, money starts disappearing faster than you can save it. My wife always says if it's for the children, it's worth it. I admire her enormous heart. Still, every year it seems like children get more and more expensive.
Amen to that, too. Walking on the rim of this object is a thrilling yet difficult challenge. That was the wrong voice entirely, but whatever, we're going with it. And 3-generation series. The Matryoshka's all fixed. Glorious. Congratulations on being reunited, Matryoshka family. Of course, 1 leaf on the back of the baby, 3 on the daughter, and 7? Yes, 7. I can count, promise. On the mama. Cool. Alright, we'll do 1 more and then we'll end off this episode with the Gourmet series, starting with the King of Meats. I wouldn't normally think to call a meat majestic, but look at this thing. Large and imposing, it demands a certain respect from all who consider eating it. I can almost hear it now. You think you can eat me whole, do you? Bah ha ha ha! I dare you to do your worst.
I never expected to find such an appetizing cut of meat in a dark underground lair. Why was it there? How was it made? And is there a reason for its large size? I imagine it was an offering to some great figure. I shall pay my respects later as well.
Wasn't it a boss treasure? Like an Emperor Bulborb had it or something?
Big enough that no one will notice if I slice off a bit to sample the flavor.
Yeah, that looks like a nice ham. I would eat that. Maestro of flavor. After subsisting on the blandest of spacefaring food, I was not prepared for the symphony of flavors this dish unleashed on my tongue. The sublime melding of the top and the bottom flavors. Surely a culinary maestro orchestrated this masterpiece. Sushi.
I'm not sure why you'd want to eat raw fish. Maybe cookery on this planet advanced so far they were able to recreate the essence of the original ingredients. It'd be easier to eat if I could cut it down into smaller pieces, but that might be insulting to the chef.
Perfect for dipping. The right sauce can bring out all kinds of unexpected flavors and aromatics. Ooh. Also sushi, but a different kind of sushi. And this food item looks for all the world like it's wearing a belt around its middle. Fashion choices aside, it tastes like heaven. The yellow part, whatever it may be, is surprisingly sweet and delicious. Maybe more of our foodstuffs should wear a belt?
I understand the white granular parts on the bottom to be fish eggs.
Oh.
One time when I went fishing with my son, we caught a fish who was carrying eggs like these. It was a revelatory moment for him to see how life can differ from species to species.
A more sophisticated palate would appreciate the notes of umami in the yellow sponge-like layer. I see. I thought there was rice down there. Fish bed snack. As far as I can tell, this is some sort of fish atop some sort of white stuff. That's rice. The specifics don't matter as much as the taste, which is good. Nothing too fancy or ostentatious. Just a kind of back-to-basics flavor profile that we all crave now and again.
One of my favorite birthday gifts as a child was a book I received called 20,000 Millimeters Under the Sea. I believe I owe my adventurous spirit to that novel. How funny that a piece of seafood from a different planet could remind me of my childhood self.
Now, is that, like, their scale of 20,000 leagues? I mean, do they acknowledge that they're, like, millimeters and inches tall? Do they know of kilometers? An excellent palate cleanser. Puts you in the mood for a strong cup of tea. The Four Grill Brothers. This dish was inspired by the legend of the Four Grill Brothers. Two brothers felt only meat was fit for a grill. The others believed only veggies belonged. A sword fight erupted among them. They nearly skewered each other, but ended up creating this skewer instead.
I can tell that it'd give me tons of power and stamina. I'm not athletic, but if I ate this whole thing, I'm sure I could work for 3 days straight without a wink of sleep. Now that I think about it, I don't want the president to hear about this and get any ideas. An unpredictable culinary experience. It's up to the eater to decide which part to eat first. Yeah, looks good. The gourmet series. Cool. Cool. Alright, well, we should have, I believe 7, I counted off screen, but we'll have either 18 or 17 left after this. So I should be able to split this up into about 9 each, maybe an 8 and a 9. Some of them are small, like this one. Some of them are big, like this one. So you see we have a bit left. Either way, I think this is going to be a good spot to leave it off for today. Like I say, we should have about 2 more episodes of the Treasure Catalogue Epilogue. Then we can move on to our Piklopedia Epilogue. So for now, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you had fun. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you all next time for some more Pikmin 4 Treasure Catalogue Epilogue. Bye-bye.